You're watching NBC Bay Area.
News 11 with Don Hayward, Maggie Skira, Jeff Richmond in the Monterey Bay Bureau, weather with Bob Hallman, and Tom Janis with sports.
Good evening, everyone. Pete Pepper will be here this week for Doug. After many years of searching, Marine World Africa USA has finally found a new home. This afternoon, park officials announced that they had signed a deal with one of the 3 Bay Area cities competing for the park.
KNTV 11, San Jose, Friday, April 18th, 1986, 6 p.m., News 11.
Well, the air was chilly, but the ground was still as several hundred people got together to remember the big shaker of 1906 this morning.
KNTV 11, San Jose. Doug Moore, Maggie Skura, Brian Sussman, and Jeff Richmond with KNTV News 11 at 11.
It's called freestyle bike riding, and it's a relatively new sport, but it's bound to become even more popular locally now that the...
You're watching KNTV 11, the San Jose News Channel. Doug Moore and Maggie Skura, Roberta Gonzalez weather, and sports with Bob Stefanich. Now, live, the most comprehensive local news coverage of San Jose and the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry McSweeney, sitting in for Maggie. And I'm Doug Moore.
The San Jose News Channel. Doug Moore and Maggie Skura, Bill Henley's weather, and sports with Bob Stefanich. Now, live, the most comprehensive local news coverage of San Jose and the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News at 11. The San Jose News Channel. Pete Pepper, and weekend sports with Rick Chavez. Now, live, the most comprehensive local news coverage of San Jose and the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News at 11. From the San Jose News Channel, the most comprehensive local news of San Jose and the Santa Clara Valley.
Cashback every used vehicle sold. Now at Chevrolet.
Now, the most comprehensive news coverage for the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, 2 local families are mourning the deaths of 2 loved ones who died in snowboarding accidents.
You're watching KNTV 11, the San Jose News Channel. Now, the most comprehensive news coverage for the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News, First Edition.
You're watching KNTV 11, the San Jose News Channel. Now, the most comprehensive news coverage for the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News Nightside.
In the name of the hard-working Americans who make up our forgotten middle class, I proudly accept your nomination.
You're watching KNTV 11, the San Jose News Channel. Now, the most comprehensive news coverage for the Santa Clara Valley. KNTV News Nightside.
Good evening, everyone.
Watching the San Jose News Channel, KNTV San Jose. Now, the news from where you live. KNTV News at 5. You're watching the San Jose News Channel, KNTV San Jose. Now, Sandra Stricker and Steve Gannon with sports. KNTV News at 5.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a story of an incredible act of courage.
Now, from the South Bay's news leader, News Channel 11 at 6. Now, from the South Bay's news leader, News Channel 11 at 11. Now, from the South Bay's news leader, News Channel 11 at 11.
They said, you don't want to see it. You just don't want to see it. There's bodies and people flying everywhere.
One person is dead and at least 80 others injured when a floor collapses at a winery in Lake Erie. Good evening. I'm Linton Johnson.
And I'm Susan Saravo. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. Rescue crews spent the evening digging through the debris of the winery's collapsed floor.
Celebrations in the Big Apple. Thousands ring in the new year under tightened security.
You're looking at a live picture from San Francisco, where crowds here begin the big countdown.
It is not a happy new year for some families forced out because of a rock slide. See how long they'll be homeless.
And KNTV makes history tonight. Our switch to NBC3 is just minutes away.
From the fastest growing news station in Northern California, News Channel 11 at 11 starts now.
New York City erupts in red, white, and blue this New Year's Eve, leaving the tragic events of the year behind to ring in 2002 in style. Good evening, I'm Terrell Joe.
And I'm Alan Dutton.
Live from around the Bay, NBC3 Today starts now.
Good morning.
You're watching NBC3 Today with Brent Cannon, Laura Garcia Cannon, weather with meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell, and traffic with Christine Newbla. Live from San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, and around the Bay, NBC3 News at noon starts now.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Brent Cannon.
And I'm Laura Garcia and Cannon.
You're watching NBC3 News at noon with Brent Cannon, Laura Garcia Cannon, and weather with meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Live from San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, and around the Bay, NBC3 News at 5 starts now. You're watching NBC3 News at 5 with Brad Hicks, Lisa Kim, and weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley. You're watching NBC3 News at 5 with Alan Denton, Terrell and Joe, and weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
Will seem to have changed on the inside.
Live from San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, and around the Bay, NBC3 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Terrell Joe.
And I'm Alan Dutton. Tonight, the Highway Patrol blames heavy fog for a deadly New Year's Day accident.
Round into the crowd. I'll have the latest.
You're watching NBC3 News at 6 with Alan Denton, Terrell and Joe, weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley, and sports with Roger Mathai. NBC3 News at 6 continues.
Topping our coverage around the region, a huge fire in Hollywood created some tense moments for firefighters today.
Live From San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, and around the Bay, NBC3 News at 6 starts now. You're watching NBC3 News at 6 with Alan Denton. Terrell and Joe. Weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley. And sports with Roger Mathai. You're watching NBC3 News at 6 with Alan Denton. Terrell and Joe. Weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley. And sports with Roger Mathai. Live from San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, and around the Bay, NBC3 News at 11 starts now.
This is for...
You're watching NBC3 News at 11 with Alan Denton, Terrell and Joe, weather with Chief Meteorologist John Farley, and sports with Roger Mathai. You're watching NBC3 News at 11 with Lyndon Johnson, Sandy Castelblanco, weather with meteorologist Nick O'Kelly, and sports with Chris Flanagan. You're watching the Bay Area's NBC 11 News. You're watching the Bay Area's NBC 11 Cable 3. Now, live from NBC 11 News, this is the Bay Area at 5.
You're watching the Bay Area's NBC 11 News.
The Bay Area's leading news station. This is NBC 11 News.
Well, some generous golfers, we know this, are in the clubhouse right now. And state records reveal shocking abuses at daycare centers here in the Bay Area. What our investigation found when we return.
Now to our investigation on daycare. Child care providers have one of the hardest and most important jobs. They're responsible for the little people we cherish the most.
Good evening. Behind the scenes, the 49ers' relationship with Gavin Newsom has been sour for years, but for
Breaking news at 6, pictures of a BART train off the tracks inside the BART tunnel at Oakland's 12th Street station tonight. 2 trains leaning against each other after a collision which sent some passengers to the hospital.
NBC Bay Area's Vicki Nguyen is live outside the 12th Street station where that BART bump happened. Vicki, lay it out for us.
Jess, at least 6 people suffered very minor injuries after this slow-speed train collision here at the 12th Street BART.
NBC Bay Area News starts now.
NBC Bay Area News starts now.
Good morning.
NBC Bay Area News starts now.
Good evening on this Friday night. I'm Jessica Aguirre.
And I'm Raj Mathai. Tonight, a San Jose man is behind bars for plotting to blow up a Bay Area bank.
NBC Bay Area News begins with breaking news.
NBC Bay Area News starts now.
Right now at 6, a disturbing discovery at an East Bay park on this Easter holiday. Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry McSweeney. Peggy Bunker is off tonight.
NBC Bay Area News starts now.
Tomorrow's going to be just bananas when we win, because it's all on us.
Right now at 11, the Warrior fans on the brink of history. Businesses prepping as the city braces for potential championship celebrations. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Aguirre.
I'm Raj Mathai. It's
A very good morning to you, Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Garcia-Cannon.
And I'm Sam Brock. Really pleasant here to start off your Wednesday. And as Carrie Hall was telling us, this is so far. What's going to happen later on?
It's going to be hot as we head into the weekend. Is without a home.
Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Chris Sanchez.
And I'm Sam Brock. Fire crews right now are on high alert as dry conditions and months of...
The news at 5 starts right now. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Raj Mathai.
And I'm Janelle Wang. Today is the unofficial pot holiday in the Bay Area. Is the epicenter at this.
The news at 6 starts right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Vicki Nguyen. Terry McSweeney is off tonight. No more late night jail releases. That is what a state senator is.
Well, if you're just now joining us, we've been on early because of the Giants game here on NBC Bay Area. I'm Raj Mathai.
And I'm Jessica Aguirre. We want to begin tonight with a...
The news at 11 starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Terry McSweeney. More anger and frustration in Sacramento. The Warriors in town, protesters angry over the Stephon.
We need to get California open again.
Right now at 6, continued calls to reopen the Golden State as the Bay Area prepares to lift some stay-at-home restrictions. News at 6 starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Terry McSweeney. We are entering week 8 of sheltering at home, and changes are just hours away. Starting at midnight, some rules of our shelter-at-home order will be relaxed, and certain businesses will reopen. Here's
Right now at 11, an about face. Tonight, Bay Area health officials now saying everyone should cover your mouth and nose in public, but not necessarily with a mask. What you need to know before you go to the grocery store or a doctor's office.
Plus, it has happened again. Another cruise ship hit with coronavirus. One of the sick from the Bay Area, and there could be others dead near Las Vegas.
Good evening. We begin with that gruesome discovery in the Nevada desert that's linked to San Jose. Tonight, there's a nationwide search for the little boy's mother.
Las Vegas police identified the boy as Liam Houston of San Jose.
Breaking right now at 4:30, multiple people hurt in an apparent shooting in the North Bay. What witnesses are telling us about the overnight violence.
Plus, the 4th of July celebrations turning dangerous. An Oakland warehouse going up in flames. What witnesses say they saw leading up to the blaze.
And illegal fireworks keeping fire crews busy all across the Bay Area while you were sleeping. The county-by-county reports of problems. Today in the Bay begins right now. Good morning. I'm Sierra Johnson in for Laura Garcia.
And I'm Marcus Washington. Get it started with your day, the 5th of July. It sounds weird, though. I want to say the 4th of July.
It does.
But hey, 5th of July, here we go. We got your red, white, and blue, just keeping the celebration going. VNAN for Mike and Carrie today. You're going to get a look at that forecast for us.
You know, it's going to be another cool day compared to what we're going to be seeing later this week. So if
Good morning. It's 7:56. I'm Marcus Washington, and here's what's happening now, including fireworks allegedly sparking a warehouse fire in Oakland. Right now at 11, work beginning today after fireworks filled the sky last night. Legal and illegal. Fire crews rushing across the Bay Area to put out sparked fireworks. A complete wrap-up of that damage done. Good morning. Thanks for joining us for our midday newscast. I'm Marcus Washington.
And I'm Sierra Johnson. Laura Garcia is off this morning. We'll get to that story in just a minute, but we want to get an update on our microclimate weather forecast. We have VNA Arani here to let folks know who may have the day off.
He's racking up for a nonprofit's annual festival in the East Bay. Now organizers say the future of the festival is in jeopardy. And a chaotic scene at a luxury department store in San Francisco. Thieves running out of Neiman Marcus after stealing tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise. Tonight, the dramatic move the store is now making so this doesn't happen again. The news at 5 starts right now.
The targeted approach by President Biden to get more Americans vaccinated. The news at 5:30 starts right now.
Here in Oakland, that typically draws thousands of people, but now its future is up in the air as it tries to rebound from the pandemic. Coming up at 6, we'll explain why.
6 starts right now. This doesn't happen again. And the Giants' new uniforms, unique or embarrassing? And how long will they stick around? Good evening. This is NBC Bay Area News Tonight. I'm Raj Mathai. Hope you had a safe and fun 4th of July weekend. We are back at it. Among the stories that are standing out tonight, Neiman Marcus is fighting back. We'll show you.
Right now on NBC Bay Area, Oakland police overworked and overwhelmed. The department swamped with calls over the holiday weekend. Tonight's Oakland's top cop says they're stretched thin.
Also, what are we going to see tonight? Across the Bay Area, police and fire crews gearing up for this. Another night of possibly dangerous illegal fireworks that'll go on for hours.
Also, where are the carts? The recent Safeway in San Francisco, it's keeping its shopping carts inside from now on. Thanks for joining us for this special primetime edition of NBC Bay Area News. We're on right now because of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm Janelle Wang.
And I'm Raj Mathai. The biggest party in North America is happening right now in Montreal. You might have just seen that game. The Canadiens, as a tropical storm heads towards them. Late last night, they imploded the remainder of that condo complex near Miami. Today, those rescue crews were back at work.
Yeah, new video from the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue shows.
Right now at 11 o'clock, who did it and why? Tonight, a South Bay family is searching for answers after this happened in their own driveway.
I just want my parents to be safe, to be left alone. I really just hope that they stop whatever they're doing.
What someone dumped on the family's car that left them confused and a bit scared. Also, it's more contagious and more prevalent. But does the Bay Area have anything to worry about? The revelation from state health officials this evening that the Delta variant has become public enemy #1 in California. But first, the 4th of July may be over, but the problems certainly are not. Illegal fireworks continue at this hour across the Bay Area. Good evening, I'm Raj Mathai. Not as intense as last night, but on this 5th of July, we're seeing plenty of illegal fireworks. This is a live look now from our cameras across the Bay Area. Last night, a lot of fire and police crews were overwhelmed. Tonight, much different, much better off. However, it's still dangerous.